for me. Lately I was feeling like I need a purpose.
Everybody, welcome back to another reading. So at this point we are at chapter 34. So we have one more chapter to go before the text ends. Alright, so without any lengthy introduction, let us go straight into chapter 34. Alright, chapter 34 says, I had a late afternoon session on the bare floor of Rena's office. Through her smoked French doors, the river looked a breathless blue. How was the visit with your mother? She asked. I'm very worried about her state of mind, I said. It was like two people, someone who was trying to hold things together and someone who was falling apart. You feel she was only pretending to be happy? Deep inside, yes. Why? That's always how she survived. She feels that she has to stay one step ahead of a mental institution, so she has to hold it together, at least on the surface. What has she decided to do with the baby? She's probably taking it out as we speak. What do you mean, taking it out? Losing it, dropping it? I can't say it. An abortion? Yes. Why? She says she hears the baby saying things to her. He says hurtful things. This baby. Your mother hears a voice? Yes. Has she always heard voices? When I lived with her, it was just the nightmares, her reliving the experience over and over again. And now she hears these voices? Yes. Is she afraid of therapy? Perhaps your mother should have an exorcism. An exorcism? I'm not joking. She should have a release ritual. The kind of things you do with a sexual phobia group. You can help. She is afraid to deal with anything that would make this more real. It has to become frighteningly real before it can fade. It's always been real for her, I said, years and years of being raped every night. Could you live with that? This child, it makes the feelings stronger. It takes her back to a time when she was carrying me, even the time when she was living with me. That's why she's trying to get the child out of her body. I think she needs an exorcism. She told her lover that she wants to abort. I wish you wouldn't call him that. Why not? It sounds. I hesitated. Too sexual? Yes. Too sexual to be linked with your mother? I think you have a Madonna image of your mother. Part of you feels that this child is a testimonial of her true sexuality. It's a child she conceived willingly. Maybe even she is not able to face that. I just want her to be okay, I said. Does her lover know that she doesn't want the baby? The way my mother acts, he probably thinks it's the best thing that has ever happened to her. I don't think she's ever really explained to him about how I was born. Do you think he would want her to have the baby? Not if he knew what it was doing to her. I don't think so. And do you think she's aborting right now? Before I came here, I called her and she wasn't there. I called her at work and she wasn't there. So she's going to do this on her own without her lover. I think she'll lose her mind if she doesn't. I really think you should convince her to seek help. Me too. I can't convince her, I said. She always thought that she was crazy already, that she had just fooled everybody. It's very dangerous for her to go on like she is. I know. I drove past Davina's house. She was at work, but I had my own key to our room. I went in and sat in the dark and drank some verbena tea by candlelight. The flame's shadows swayed across Urzuli's face in a way that made it seem as though she was crying. On the way out, I saw Boki's balloon. It was in a tree, trapped between two high branches. It had deflated into a little ball the size of a green apple. We thought it had floated into the clouds, in hope that it had traveled to Africa. But there it was, slowly dying in a tree right above my head. Alright, that's it. Short and sweet, chapter 34. So we see where Sophie is here with her therapist, talking about her mother's pregnancy, revealing to the therapist that Martine was indeed hearing voices. Right? So it seems as if Martine was on the verge of psychotic break. But the therapist was trying to get Sophie to convince her to get help. But Sophie said she couldn't convince her because Martine was already convinced that she was crazy. So to seek help would be pointless. It would be futile. Right? So, chapter 35. And this is where the book stops with everyone. What do you think the outcome will be? Alright? So, join me for chapter 35. Come back for chapter 35. And let us pull our curtains down on this story. This story has everything to be tugging at your heart. This story has everything for you to be thinking. This story causes you to think. So, we'll see what happens in chapter 35. So, see you soon. Take care. Bye.